Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever the case may be, wherever you're tuning in to this post-match carnage, pun intended. Post-match carnage to Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 5. Yes, you heard it, 5. Welcome to the stream, people. Of course, many of you are here to see us talk about Liverpool. Many of you are here to see our tears. Many of you are here to just send and hurl abuse. The game's the game. You take the rough with the smooth. We always say football is a humbler. And Liverpool got humbled today. As you guys have noticed, I've got my friendly cap on today. I've taken off the war hat. The whites of Madrid surrendered, just like Liverpool. Taken off the war hat and got my friendly hat on. And I've got a couple of friends that are going to keep me going, keep you going, keep all of us going. I'm going to introduce my friend first, who's making his debut. I wish your debut was in more happy circumstances, but it's a debut nevertheless. Hi, Daniel. How you doing? Oh, no, fucking stupid question. All right, Daniel. Family okay? Health okay?
Well, like you said, apart from football, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like apart from Liverpool, everything is golden. but then we speak about Liverpool, and then it's a little bit like, that's not great. However, I'm still positive because if you were to give me this before the Everton game, I'd have bit your hand off.
You would have taken a 5-2 smashing from Real Madrid.
If we beat Everton and Newcastle, yeah, 100%.
We'll get into that. Guys, there's close to 500 of you here, like wolves, all snuck away in the mountains beforehand if you had won, but you've all come out. But the game's the game. I would feel slightly better if you guys all smashed a like, and I would appreciate if you subscribe. I'm really close to 25k. I'm going to be shameless and ask for likes and subscribes. Never mind the Liverpool game. I'm shameless today. I have nothing else to say to you guys. I have nothing else to talk about. I'll carry on introducing my mates. All right, Omar, chin up, son. Stop slouching. Let's get up. You're giving me Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander vibes. Come on, give me Harvey Elliott vibes. Get up and do something. Show me something.
Oh, I was giving it to them. The fans were giving it to the team today. So we wanted them to stand up, and they sat down. So now I'm sat down, and I will continue to sit down. But I'm going to sit up like this because Grizz always tells me off about my posture. So
absolutely, it's very, very important when you're in front of the camera. It's all about posture. It's all about not giving up. It's all about keep going. It's all about don't let the opposition see your head drop. Everything that Liverpool didn't do, no. Everything that Liverpool didn't do.
Man, that was a tough one, especially with the start. Liverpool crumbled. I mean, it was going so well. Like, I usually take notes of what's going on in the game. As soon as that fourth one went in, I was just like, toss my notebook. I tossed it aside, bro. Like, toss it over there. And what can you say, man? It's like, that was a frustrating game.
Frustrating. I mean, you guys are... I'm very surprised at the calmness in you guys. Like, you're calling it frustrating. Dan said he would have taken this possibly if you promised him the wins against Everton and Palace. And Holmes is, I don't know, I'm raging inside. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The only reason it's not coming out is because where'd you go after this? What do we do after this? I mean, rage and do what? Make yourself ill?
But like seriously, like if it being like cards on the table, being honest here, we're not going to win the Champions League. I don't think anyone in their wildest dreams thought we'd win the Champions League. So this is kind of an extra to what the important stuff is. And like for me, the important stuff is getting in the top four, making sure we solidify that position. Then hopefully we can get the likes of Jude Bellingham in, and then we go again. This Champions League thing for me is like an aside.
You're so positive.
Well, what do you think? Do you actually think we'll win the Champions League? I think.
I don't think that, but when you're 2-0 up, like you can't help but get not carried away, but be like, okay, we have a chance in this tie.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Come off two games where we've won. Sorry, we've come off 2 games where we've won. And like we're 2-0 up in the first 15 minutes. We're in dreamland, and we've just lost. We've conceded 5 on the bounce, and it could have been 6 or 7 if Madrid played their cards right. Like I'm like Grizz. I didn't try not to speak much because I'm fuming on the inside, but now I'm just depressed. I'm actually just like what has happened to my club? But
also like the flip side to that is obviously the Everton and Newcastle results is getting people carried away in terms of they're thinking the midfield's good. It's not good. It's not a good midfield at all. Yeah, up front it's fine. Defense ain't good because Joe Gomez is not good enough.
We're absolutely gonna get into individuals and whatnot. Come on, people, hit the like. Don Robinho says, and I've asked for a like as well, or 2. Shall we get the teams up and we start from there? I saw the teams, lads. I'm gonna come to you, Noor, first. I saw the teams, and I messaged every group except R1, and I said, Joe Gomez needs a massive, massive game today, people. Joe Gomez. In my head was Joe Gomez, because I knew Benzema and Vinicius Jr. are going to just absolutely camp in that area between Joe Gomez and Trent. They're going to camp there all evening. The team lineup comes out. I guess Matip's. We didn't have a choice because Matip's so shit, lads. Matip's been so shit. We didn't have a choice. So Gomez had to start. And of course, young Bajcetic. Young Bajcetic has been magnificent. I have not a bad thing to say about Bajcetic. But he was another name that I thought, could this be a game too far for him? Could we have... What else could we have done? I'm not so sure. Naby Keita, we know, is way out of favor. We know Oxlade-Chamberlain is way out of favor. We really didn't have a choice with the lineup, which makes it even worse. No, I'll come to you first. Or would you have been brave and done something different, like throwing a Bobby in there and gone with 3 up front, like a 4-2-3-1?
No, I think I would have stuck exactly with the same team because they were building some sort of chemistry. They were building some sort of understanding, I thought. However, and they started well. It was leading to nothing, and concede 1 goal, and it kind of collapsed. You saw that the doubt creeping into the players, the self-belief just got sucked away quickly. Mentality monsters are no more, and you can. No! I don't
want to hear that word. Like that should be banned from Liverpool fans, media, content creators, publishers, journalists. Anything connected with Liverpool Football Club shouldn't have that. That phrase should be deleted. We need to make a new one for Liverpool 2.0 if there's going to be a Liverpool 2.0, because I don't want to hear mentality monsters anymore. No.
Yeah, and Joe Gomez epitomizes that, as in, if he does a couple of mistakes, usually the rest of his game is gone. Like he lets that sit in his head, and he loses his head. He loses his focus. He loses what the game is all about at that moment in time. Just looking at that Benzema goal, where Benzema cuts back and and Gomez just runs back.
We're gonna get into the goals. We're gonna get into the goals. We're gonna get into the incidents. I just wanted your guys.
But do you remember the Newcastle game? There was one cross that came in, and Van Dijk and Alisson got confused about who's getting the ball. Van Dijk head out for a corner. After then, Van Dijk was amazing. Like it didn't affect him at all. Like them small mistakes just did not bother him. It's like, okay, that's done, and then we move on. I don't think Joe Gomez can handle them type of mistakes, or when he does something wrong, it just plays on his mind a little bit too much.
Lads, let's hold the Joe Gomez chat for now, because we will get into it. Of course, we must. All my phrases are coming back to haunt me today. We must. I'm going to go through a few super chats that kindly have been. Ohms, if you see any more, please star them for me. I'm on a different page. Pixelate Pigeon says the entire backline has to cop for that capitulation, but the signs are worrying with Gomez. We've just been discussing that. Seems like he was a far better player the year we won the title. Has he taken too many steps backwards? Literally, on the pitch, and generally as a Liverpool player. Like on the pitch, those couple of backward steps he took when Vinicius Jr. should have been blocked. Yeah. But thank you for the super chat. And we're going to get into it, Pixelated Pigeon. Josh Burns says, another embarrassing night. How many more will we see? Who knows? It will get harder and more painful before it gets better. AK Dash says, the lot who wore masks at Old Trafford fully deserve it. I don't know what that's in reference to. People that were wearing
the Glazer masks.
Glazer mask. There you go. Football's a humbler. Grizz, I don't care. This Madridist team is not that good. There must be black magic or something helping them always. My friend, I done a preview with the Real Madrid channel yesterday, and I said, fuck the form book and fuck everything else. You guys turn up in Champions League nights. You've got that heritage. Grizz, send this message to all Liverpool fans. We are champions of Europe. We are not your Everton or Newcastle. Of course, a Real Madrid fan. Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, you are champions of Europe. No one can deny that. If Ali doesn't make that error, is it a different game? We're going to get into that. The Everton and Newcastle midfields we played up against were championships. You can't play Hendo and Fabinho in midfield and expect them to be good teams. I'm going to add Bejitic to that as well, even though he's been tremendous and he's been the best player probably in the last how many weeks he's been playing. As Dan says, those games, it seems, and it's proven, overshadowed. Not overshadowed, what's the word? Papered over the cracks. Papered over the cracks. KD says Jude will need a huge savior complex to want us. Shane McGee says Gomez and Fabinho were terrible and a fault for most of the goals. Terrible mentality once Real Madrid scored. Didn't do the fundamentals right, i.e. Fabinho getting done on a wall pass. Fourth goal example of Joe and Fabinho. Yo, what's good? Definitely not Liverpool right now, my brother. I'm sorry to have to give you that reply every time. I love Klopp like my brother, but Jesus, tactically just horrible. I don't think Klopp assesses in-game situations properly one bit. Klopp needs to maneuver better. What's RHS? Will forever... Right-hand side will forever be a problem. Bill, I hope you've started anything else that I've missed. Oh, my, sorry. You haven't. You
you didn't miss anything.
Okay. The game starts off... I can't believe how the game starts off, Holmes. We score a wonderful goal and we think, hello, Anfield nights under the lights, here we go. The build up to the game, we saw the scenes from the supporters, red everywhere, huge welcome. You see the lineups, we've discussed the lineups, we all agree that there's not much more in the current situation we could have done with the lineups. I saw the Real Madrid lineup and I said, look at that lineup. After all the injuries and form and stories about he's messed, he's not well, he's not playing, suddenly you've got a midfield of Camavinga, Modric and Valverde. Suddenly you got Militao and Rudiger at centre-back. You got Alaba and Carvajal. You got Courtois and you've got the main man up front. Benzema, the dream, one of the most historical Champions League strikers of all time. And then you've got legs, pace to burn on the flanks. I didn't tweet much because I knew it's going to be a long night. But we started off like a dream, Ohms. What happened from where it happened and how did that happen? That start.
Oh man, like this is some form of torture you're putting me through.
Yes, I
trying
am.
to go back to the first 15 minutes because I really, as much. Oh, you know that Vince McMahon meme where he's like, he was special. That first 15 minutes was special, man. Salah, Nunez, resiliency, passion. Oh, I won't lie, my head was spinning. I was like, whoa, all right, Anfield, okay. I don't know, man. We just started quick. We just looked like the Liverpool of old under Klopp. We looked like the team that took it to any team at Anfield, had the crowd behind us, 5 or 6 players in their half, pressing. But yeah, man, I just can't help but think about what happened after that. The Salah, the assist for Nunez, great finish, 1-0. Courtois, horrible mistake, and now nobody's even going to think about it. Horrible mistake. Why couldn't you make those mistakes in the final? That was actually my first thought when Salah scored. I was like, why couldn't you?
It was only my thought. It was my only thought. Nothing else. I didn't even celebrate the goal, actually. I was just thinking, you silly cunt. Like, if you could have done this in a final, it would have been amazing. Dan, I might as well give you, I might as well let you have a say on the good 15 minutes because then we're going to really get into the horrible parts. And at 2-0 up, you're thinking, what are you thinking at 2-0 up?
If I'm being honest, I'm kind of thinking it kind of felt a little bit like when we beat Man City, the 3-0 game, or the Roma, the smash. It was kind of a little bit like, okay, so we're going to get as many as we can, and then we'll just defend. That's kind of what I thought in my head. The problem was we didn't do the defending bit at the back end of it, and that's quite a shame. But if I'm honest with you, it was good. Like, and we scored 2 goals, and the Nunez goal was great. Whatever. It wasn't. I wasn't thinking, oh, we're smashing these. I was never thinking we're battering these. I didn't get that. I didn't get that feel because it always felt to me, which was different. Not so much in the Newcastle game, but especially Everton game, that the midfield was a little bit too separated from each other. There were gaps in the midfield, and it felt like that from the start for me. And I was like, okay, so Fabinho's a little bit too deep. Bajcetic is a little bit too much on the left, and Henderson's a little bit too much on the right. And that was my feeling at the start, to be fair.
Just a few super chats. Modric and Benzema at 37 and 35 are showing levels again. Listen, Hall of Famers. I don't know if you want to comment on that, Noor. Hall of Famers, guys. Let's not get it twisted. Benzema and Modric are just magical, right? Magical.
Yeah, they are magical. But in that, going back to that first 15 minutes, we made them look anonymous. Those two weren't in the game because we were pushing, we were controlling a lot of the ball. But soon, we'll get into the goals we conceded. But Liverpool have a mentality problem at the moment. I don't know what it is.
And you'd never thought we say that under Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, exactly. You saw the energy level as soon as one went in. You saw the energy levels drop in midfield. We weren't pushing as much. We weren't covering the spaces as much. We weren't following our man as much. We saw people like Salah was just jogging back into position rather than sprinting back into position. So, is it their legs are gone, or are they just mentally shot? They can't be still bringing
Say it. What is it? According to you, what is it? Don't ask me the question back.
For me, it's a psychological thing. I think they are.
I disagree with you. I think their legs have gone.
I don't think.
And I've been saying it, and I've been naming the players. The legs have gone. I've named them, and they've proved me right. No one's proved me wrong, Noor. No one of those players has proved me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, not one of those proved me wrong. I mentioned 4 or 5 first teamers that nobody wants to speak on, and I said their legs have gone. and we won't ever see their levels again. And everyone said, "Oh, you're being your typical Twitter reactionary fan when you hate that normally." I'm not reactionary guy. I try to give a logical, rational explanation of what I think is going to happen. You can agree or disagree. At the moment, I've been proved right.
Yeah, probably
because we can name the same players near enough every game.
Probably, I think you might be right. As in, they can't do what Klopp wants them to do anymore.
And that's a Klopp fault as well, by the way. We're going to get into that as well, guys. So make sure you've got your Klopp agendas ready. If you haven't, you better get a Klopp agenda.
And the reason why Real Madrid, like as was mentioned, was Benzema being 35 and Modric being 37, is because Real Madrid know when to push and when not to. They conserve energy. Yeah,
they have that know-how like no other team, possibly in the history of this competition, and their record proves it.
Yeah, and Klopp said it before the game in a press conference. He said they don't seem to be flustered whenever the things are not going their way. They just continue playing exactly how they play. They know they're going to get their chances, and they're confident in taking those chances.
Excuse me, sorry. Amir says, absolutely embarrassing, shambolic performance. We let Real come to Anfield and score 5 after we went 2-0 up. Really, Real are the real mentality monsters. There's absolutely no denying that, my friend. Thank you very much for the super chat. Gandahar says, lost all hopes of beating Real Madrid ever. I know it's too much. It won't last, but that's what I'm feeling right now. Why with Real Madrid always? Someone needs to break this juju. It's not going to be this squad. It's not going to be this team set of players. It might not be this manager. It might not be this manager, Omar. I love him. But near enough every time Carlo Ancelotti has schooled him. I thought he schooled him today again at 2-0 up. I didn't see anything. The second goal was lucky. Now we know it was lucky. Mo Salah had a chance to score a third. He should have scored a third, where he does all the hard work, and then at the end, just at the moment, the way he's playing is just an awful finish. Tell me I'm wrong, guys, but after that, I don't recall any major chances for us or attacks. So it was literally the first 15, 20 minutes.
It looks like it does look like we've run out of energy, isn't it? As soon as that 20 minutes
so we can make. But Omar, we'll get into it now. So 2-0 up. We've asked how you felt. Daniel says he never felt comfortable, even though it's 2-0 up. I certainly didn't feel comfortable 2-0 up because I know this team, Real Madrid. Holmes, what happens at 2-0 up? We'll start with their goals, I guess. The first goal, are you going to blame them, or are you going to just talk about Vinicius Jr. again? Just what a world-class talent.
Out of the 5, the first ones I have the least problem with. I think fair enough. You just got to hold your hands up, be like, this guy's world class. Like the finish, you could maybe say Gomez should have positioned himself better. Henderson could have closed him down, but like it was a world class finish from a world class winger. And sometimes you just have to hold your head up and be like, fair enough. So yeah, with that one, yeah, whatever. But then you go on to the second one, and it was Keith who said it. It was like, you've got to play the game sometimes. You can't just have a pre-planned idea of what you're going to do in a certain situation. And I love Alisson, but there's times where you've just got to put your foot through it. There's times where another team has the momentum and you've just got to sort of combat that somehow. So instead of trying to pass it round Vinicius, just put your foot through it. It's a horrible mistake, and it literally drains the whole stadium just like that. Because 2-1, fine. Vinicius, world-class goal, fair enough. We're still in this game. But at 2-2, yeah, you're still in the balance, but the momentum's now shifted. And it's so hard, especially against a team like Real Madrid, to drag that momentum back. And Grizz, you were saying it. Look, Alisson, you said Alisson's not the best of his feet. And
I got slaughtered it, by the way, Daniel. I know you probably listened to this opinion for the first time. Everyone's got this, I think, idea that Alisson's so good with his ball at his feet.
No, he's good kicking it.
He's absolutely from his hand.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. With his hand, with the ball out of his hands. I think I might have said it on RedFellas on Sunday, or I think we might have said it on a show. I said he's the best around from his feet, from his hands.
Yeah.
he's actually not very good with the ball at his feet. Like I don't mean he's not great. He's not Edison levels, because Edison is ridiculous with the ball at his feet. Alisson is very bad with the ball at his feet. Trust me. And I've been saying it forever and ever, but I don't know why people think he's good with the ball at his feet.
Alisson is what it is when he has a lot of time to think.
I said it yesterday. There you go.
That's the issue. I think every time he has a lot of time to think, the guy then somehow, number one, he delays it a lot. Let's say, like for example, the goal against Wolves, he had it under control. He delayed it until the guy came and closed him down, and then he tried to pass it. Edison can do that. Alisson can't do that. Alisson, if he was just to keep it as simple as possible, because he saw Vinicius closing that right hand side down.
Vinicius was always going to shut that side down. Every footballer, we've all played the game at some level.
Yeah.
In that situation, the attacker always presses on the obvious pass that he thinks the keeper's going to do. And the obvious pass is out to Gomez.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to pile on Gomez.
No, do it. No, do it.
Because
if you're not going to pile on today, you're never going to pile on. You're never going to get opportunity not to pile on. Yeah. Don't hold back.
All right, Gomez. First of all,
say what you think, because that's the whole point. Listen, fan reactions are all about how you feel. Don't hold back, because otherwise you might as well not be on the streams. Guys, honestly, we might as well just pack up and go and just read people's tweets and get angry or think. Speak your mind.
Joe Gomez, all right. From Joe Gomez, number one, the pass back to Alisson wasn't good. And secondly, his positioning. Once you give it back to Alisson, you got to give him an angle. Not an angle behind what's his name, Vinicius, but a free angle like to the side. So it's an easier pass. There's less chance of it being cut out by what's his name, Vinicius. And he does that a lot. He gives this weird angles, and I've seen Matip go on him. I've seen Van Dijk go at him, and I've seen Fabinho even go at him. Why are you not giving me a good angle? He's usually behind someone or giving a poor angle for a pass. So that's one thing. But Alisson needs to stop overthinking these situations, and he could have easily just cut back him and given it to Van Dijk, who was free, open and free. But I'll have to disagree also with Omar. I've got a problem more so with the first goal than the second goal.
Okay.
Because the first goal, if you watch the sequence here, you see a lot of passive defending. You see
passive defending.
Real Madrid are just passing it all around that area, and everyone's just like, oh yeah, watching. Just cover the space. So who they think?
Just covering the space. Covering the space. You're spot on.
And nobody's going after the player. Nobody's going.
But that's kind of what I'm saying in terms of midfield. Like the midfield, the space was too much. There's a big triangle there. You can play through it.
Whose fault is that, though, Daniel? But whose fault is that? That's the manager's situation. That is the manager's fault. The players are unable to do anything about it. We've established, guys, majority of the Liverpool fan base have established our midfield is dead. We're relying on an 18-year-old to give us the energy and drive. The drive and energy is coming from an 18-year-old who's played fucking every single game for the last month or so. He's 18.
And he's up against, and he's been the best player.
So this is on the coach.
You know, the league team. You've got like a I don't know, sixth team. You've got like a sixth Sunday league team, and you've got two old guys in midfield and like some young 13-year-old running around them. It's pie and mash football for a reason. It doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? Like, and we've had this problem in midfield for a while now, where as soon as it goes in behind the press, as soon as it goes in behind us, they just don't get back. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Van Dijk will deal with that.
It's not whatever, Ohms. This is where they can't do it, guys. They can't do it. They haven't got it in their legs. They won't get it back. This is why I said fuck Fabinho now. He won't get it back. And when I say fuck Fabinho, I mean it with the utmost respect, if you know what I mean.
You mean bench Fabinho?
No, sell Fabinho.
He has to be sold. Yeah, so Fabinho has to be sold.
Henderson, Henderson finished last season, and he's probably going to go down as one of the best captains we've had in the modern day era or any era.
Yeah.
But the fella can't not only run now, he's not seeing anything. He's getting the ball and just rushing everything he's doing.
So, Grizz, do you think it was a mistake to play Henderson again? What was it, 3 days later? Because I was wondering about that.
What's our choices, guys? And it is a good question, and we did contemplate it. But what was the alternative, lads? Naby
I would have
Keita
had
and
Henderson in and Fabinho out because
you can't not go into Fabinho against Real Madrid's midfield. This is going to sound crazy, and people are going to say, "Oh, here we go. Grizz has got his agenda about young Bajcetic." Because Daniel, by the way, just to fill you in, I don't think Bajcetic will be a first teamer in 3-4 years' time for Liverpool Football Club. Everyone's saying, yeah,
right, okay,
yeah." Okay. But I'm here to be shot down because that's the kind of guy I am. I speak my opinion. I don't hold back.
You're the one.
I'm the
only
one. I'm the only one. Everyone else thinks that exactly. But I speak my mind. I'm not like Noor and Omar that just sit on the fence. You know what I mean? I say it. I don't give a shit. But if he proves me wrong, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it because it will mean he smashed it at Liverpool and he's successful and he's gonna be brilliant. So win-win situation, I guess. Couple of super chats because I know you guys have started from the second goal, Daniel, from the Gomez back pass and the Alisson fuck up, but it starts from Bajcetic in midfield, where he's trying to do too much, or he wants to do too much, or lack of experience, or call it what you want. He just simply turns into the minefield, so to speak, where he just, if you play the way you're facing, there's no issue there. That doesn't even happen. We don't even need to carve up Gomez and Alisson if young Bajcetic just played the simple pass. It's harsh, but it's his fault.
I think that's true, but at the same time, this is a guy who came in to be our number 6 and then became a number 8. And like now, really, when you talk about the midfield, he's been asked to like kind of dictate stuff. Like he's 18 years of age. He should not be the guy to progress the ball forward the way he's being asked to do it. And he's doing a really good job with it, but that should not be him. Like he's really getting put into a really unfortunate situation because I'm sure he loves it, but it's not
it's too much for an 18-year-old.
Yeah, it's too much. It's far too much for an 18-year-old.
Check this out though, Dan. But check this out then. Whose fault is that?
Well, that's management, isn't it? That's the coaching staff, right?
It's the coaches and the manager and the owners. Yeah. It's always a combination. Yeah. It's always a combination. Yeah. You haven't strengthened enough to be able to have the confidence to rely on Ox, Naby, Milner, whatever, because they're the ones that you relied on. They're the reasons why you didn't invest.
Yeah. Can I just say?
Yeah, go on, Bill. No, sorry,
Bill.
Oh no, man, I'm mad, innit? This is what happens, innit? I'm Henderson right now.
But yeah, no, I'll agree with you as in Klopp and management's fault for gambling on these players like a Naby, Ox, Fabinho, because I know they know that midfield needs changing. But I think he thought to himself in the summer, he goes, look, we almost went for a quadruple. We couldn't get our main target that we went for. Let's just go again. It's a calculated risk. They thought to themselves, let's go again with this same midfield. Hopefully we can get something out of them this season. And then we go and change. But yeah, it was a gamble a bit too far. They didn't account for how much energy was taken from last season, how much the psychological effects as well from last season. Because let's be real, like going close on 4 trophies to make history. And then one thing I said was the only way Liverpool will go again is if this midfield got help, like as in they'll, from a psychological point of view, as in they see a top midfielder come in, they'll be like, okay, I think we can go again. That didn't happen. So they thought, listen, Yeah, so I'll blame Klopp from that point of view. But as I wanted to say is, by Setic in that situation, I kind of like his cojones or balls to try something like that.
I hear you.
I like
I hear
that as
that.
well, because
I hear that.
it's like against Newcastle, the same thing, the second goal. Like the fact that he's willing to make that turn, I like that. I think that's really positive.
I hear that. And you know what? You guys have calmed me down a little bit with that sort of sentiment.
Because how many times have we had midfielders that play it safe and we're like, oh, stop playing it safe. Like, let's try something. And he tried something. And I don't think we should try and get that out of him. But I think we should just try and refine it.
Well, we had no choice. He shouldn't be in that position in the first place. I don't think we shouldn't be relying on an 18-year-old. I don't think he's a generational talent, in my opinion, I think only generational talent should be been playing every single game for Liverpool Football Club at the level we're at, especially if we're going into a tie with Real Madrid, especially with the midfield Real Madrid have got. The fact that he is the end-all and be-all right now of the Liverpool midfield is not his fault. He's been brilliant, magnificent so far. But to rely on him in a night like this and the games that we've been playing on, it's the management and the owners and the coach's fault. It's always a combination. Always a combination. Do you want to? Shall we go through the quotes? Because apparently there were some quotes.
Yeah, Klopp saying, just to be honest,
it's going too fast, man. We missed it.
No, I'm going down. I'm going down to the start.
Surely we've got a better site where we can see it all in one, man. Why don't you try find something?
Yeah,
like all
I'm
in
just
one,
going through the best bits.
Get this is Anfield. They probably have it all in one.
All right.
Yeah, so we'll come back to that. Madrid TV, welcome, guys, and congratulations. We own you, Heritage, best club in the world. Absolutely no doubt about it. No arguments from our side, mate. Thank you very much for the super chat. Philippe, our resident Newcastle fan, says, one of the greatest UCL games ever. The worst part is being 2-0 up. It's letting Madrid score 5 unanswered. Salah, only one that let off the hook. No, I'm not letting Salah off the hook either. Shane McGee says, what is Klopp supposed to do with midfielders who can't do the fundamentals then? Who are we playing? No formation change fixes a lack of fundamentals. Do you guys want to reply to that or anything?
No formation change fixes a lack of... Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree with Shane McGee there. Because what can Klopp really change? He's tried to change it a lot this season. I think Klopp had a howl over his subs.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that.
I'll agree with you on that, but I'm saying he started, like, the formation wise, I don't think it's going to help anything at this moment in time. He's tried loads of formations. He's tried the 4-4-2 diamond. He's tried the 4-2-3-1.
I disagree. I disagree, Noel. I disagree.
He has tried it, but
I disagree. But our best patch of results came before World Cup when he changed it, lads. He changed it. He went to a 4-4-2. We won 3 or 4 games in a row. 4 games in a row. That's been our best patch of the season. Since the World Cup, we've gone back to this 4-3-3. Only now
was it Nunes and Firmino up front? I think.
I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was Firmino. But Firmino was missing. That's the problem. And Gakpo had to be integrated, so it was a bit.
Bad struggled in the midfield, KD says, against Man City in the Carabao Cup. Lots of pressure for him at 18. Don't want to drop him against Crystal Palace, though. Kills the confidence. I think is a massive decision for Jurgen Klopp to make for Crystal Palace. We won't get into that yet. But I see both sides of the argument and debate, lads, and feel free to come in that soon. Yo, what's good says, question. Does anyone believe Klopp has an issue with recognizing and addressing in-game situations? 100%. I do, and I think that's part of a game that stinks.
1,000%.
I was fuming at his substitutions and the timing of them and the actual players as well. That went off. So look, 2-0 up, half-time, 2-2. Come out the second half. What did you want, Dan? What did you want from this team? What did you want from the manager? What did you expect? How did you want it to pan out the second half? And what would you have changed, if anything?
If I'm honest, when it got to the second half, I thought it would be like the first 15 minutes of the first half. We just go for it. because we're shooting at the cop as well. Like we're not an away team. We're the team at Anfield, Champions League night, under the lights, shooting at the cop. I thought 15 minutes, we're gonna smash these, and I was expecting at least 1 or 2 goals, potentially like a lovely little Nunes finish, or Salah would do something, or Gakpo would keep going what he's doing. But it was so flat. It was the thing about tonight which upset me most of all was just how flat the team seemed on the second half. They seemed so flat, and you're thinking, why? What? How are you're shooting against the top end, the best stand probably maybe in Europe, I guess, and you're that flat? What is that?
I don't know, mate. No, we start the second half in the most disastrous fucking way. People are saying, Grizz, you seem rattled. Brilliant observation. And yeah, I'm rattled. My team just got smashed to smithereens, 5-2 at home. And you're asking why I seem rattled, or I'm rattled. But yeah, no, I don't know how the ball ends up in that situation. I think we lose the ball in midfield. I think it's Fabinho who miscontrols it. I haven't seen it back. My head's in a spin. I haven't seen it back. But I think Fabinho loses control. Am I right, guys? Anyone remember?
Yeah.
Am I right? Because Fabinho loses control, ends up in that. Obviously, Trent's pushed forward because he expects Fabinho not to lose control of a football there. So he's moved up. It leaves Joe Gomez, who's got the pace, who's quick enough to read that and get across there. I've never rated Joe Gomez's tackling. For a centre back, he tackles like a piece of shit. Yeah. For a centre back playing in the Premier League,
he tackles like a striker.
He tackles like a striker. There's no oomph for this tackle. There's no definition of a tackle. It's not even a Sunday league tackle. He half tackles, half tries to get the ball, half tries to do everything. And that's what happens when you half try and do everything.
Yeah, he basically he knew he had to hit that ball, but he didn't slide. This is a surprising thing. If he slid, he would have
It's okay, let her in. She knows. We need to speak on it. You know what I mean? Huh? We need to speak to his daughter. Let the daughter in, man. She knows. Let us have her say. She might make more sense than us.
She wants her say, doesn't she? Like
she might make more sense.
What do you want to say? Tell him.
She might
tell him about Joe Gomez. Tell him.
She might make more sense than us.
Hello.
Yeah. Hope you didn't watch the game, love.
Hello.
I know.
Hiya.
Hello.
Okay, bye.
I love you so much.
All right, go. Okay, go. Take it.
I'm pretty sure I heard that at the end say, "I hate Joe Gomez." I heard that.
Yeah.
So Joe Gomez, he tackles like a striker. He could have slid. Take it to your mum. She'll open it for you. Go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's cool.
All right. Yeah, she just woke up. It's like maybe a nightmare from Joe Gomez.
Yeah, exactly that.
So Joe Gomez, he's tackling. He could have read that, as you said, Grizz, quite a long, because Vinicius went past Trent, and the space was there for him to just slide and just clear it, and no problem. But as you said, he tried to win the ball so he can, win it and then still have possession of the ball. And in these type of games, as I said, like Joe Gomez lacks one fundamental skill or attribute for a defender is the focus. In defense, you got to be focused and willing to see what the outcome might be. So you're ready. Let's say if he does beat Trent, I'm ready to now to bounce on that in that situation. If he cuts back in, I'm ready here to be close to Benzema. So you got to have both scenarios in your head. When you see an action like that, then it's very simple to go and then slide, but he doesn't do that, and they win the free kick, and then again someone's sleeping in the back post, lets Militao just walk in front of everyone.
Oh no, it's not back post, brother. Oh, it's not back post, because Omar, guess who is again who just stands there, doesn't read the flight of the ball, the direction of the ball. Check it again, guys, if you get a chance.
Joe Gomez.
It's Joe Gomez again. It's Joe Gomez again.
It's at the front post.
I'm gonna call him out. I'm not gonna. I don't want to slander one guy because I could slander all of them. But that was Joe Gomez again. Watch it again. He's static. He watches it like. Go on.
You know what the worst thing about that goal was? I looked at that free kick and I saw Valverde on the edge of the box, a couple other players on the edge of the box. I saw we had a line of 7-8 people in the box. I was like, yeah, if they're going to score from this, it's because they've dropped it to the edge of the box and had a shot. It's one guy against about 6 or 7 people around him, and he just goes into an area. Every single player around him, every single Liverpool player around him just stands still. Just stand still. If you're marking zonally, you attack the ball. They literally stood still. I think the third goal was the worst of the lot.
Yeah, there's a okay, yeah. I mean, the Alisson one is hard to take.
But like Alisson, in terms of like,
the team
is pathetic. It's the worst bit of defending I've seen all season. You've got one guy in there attacking the ball, and you've got 6 or 7 defenders plus a goalkeeper just on their heels, not moving to the ball at all. It is terrible. It's pathetic.
It was Joe Gomez. I don't care what anyone says. I've just watched it again. It was Joe Gomez, guys. And as a team, you're right. That was pathetic. It was hard to take.
Yeah. So Joe Gomez is. You say he's Joe. Like I haven't watched it back, but Militao starts at the back post, right? And so this is what I'm talking about. Joe Gomez can't. He doesn't focus. Because part of being focused is you look around your surroundings and see what's the possibility. If you ball watch too much, then you don't know what's going on behind you or to the side of you. So you got to be constantly scanning your left and right to see who's moving where, what's the situation. And as Omar said, you got to bloody attack that ball once it comes into your Vinicius, I was about to say.
Vicinity.
Yeah. Once it comes around that area, you're supposed to go and attack it and not wait for other people to come deal with it.
Guys, you're absolutely spot on. And shall I tell you, you don't even have to look at other games to see what kind of centre-backs or what role a centre-back plays in sniffing out danger, knowing his whereabouts. Don't have to be pretty on the ball. Don't have to be elegant looking. Don't have to have no mud on your shirts, whatever. Is those other two absolute beasts that Real Madrid have. Because Daniel, Militao and Rudiger aren't the best on the ball, creative, elegant looking, but they fucking defend for their lives. Our whole back line, apart from Robertson and Konate when he plays, I'm sorry, none of them have got a gene in them that senses danger now, Dan.
Well, it's interesting speaking about Joe Gomez about the lack of anticipation and awareness, because there was 2 or 3 years where we didn't even know if Van Dijk was like a really quick player, and the whole point of that is we didn't know if he was quick. He didn't have to be. His awareness was that good. He could just see what's going on. He would sniff out the danger, and he didn't have to sprint. And that was like one of the big things of like, is he even that quick? So it's really interesting how that's regressed in terms of, I don't know if it's a thing with him personally where he's lost the art of pace after that injury, but he's he's vocal, but he's not dominating. He's not dominating like he used to be. Like it used to be, you got Alisson, Van Dijk, we're fine, and everything defense wise was built around that, and it would be fine, and it would allow Trent to push forward or Robbo to do what he does, but it's fine. Who's next to Van Dijk? Doesn't matter. It's fine. Van Dijk's there. So that's kind of gone now. And then when you're talking about like kind of the Madrid centre backs, they're kind of like a little bit different in terms of Van Dijk, because they're dogs of war. They'll fight for the cause type of thing. That's not Van Dijk, and this might be a problem because Van Dijk is so good. He's so good. Like, he's outrageously good. But if he's not, it sounds weird, but
say
if he's
it,
not,
Dan. I know you. I think you want to say something that I've said a few times. So say it. I think you're holding back something. I want you to say what you really want to say, because you're thinking the majority of the fan base might think you're wild and mad. But trust me, brother, I've said this. So say what you really want to say. I think.
So
I'm guessing.
I think if Van Dijk has dropped that level, like, it's not a case of John Terry getting older and then he drops a level and he's still a really good defender. When Verge drops, it's going to be a big drop. It's going to be like a really big drop, because his whole persona and playing style is built on the fact that he is the man, and he's quicker than you, he's stronger than you, he's taller than you, he can do everything better than you can do it. Once that goes, and he can't kind of make up for the gaps in his game, that could be a big issue. And I'm a little bit worried about the fact that it's been last year. Virgil was not our best centre back. He wasn't. He wasn't. And people can say what they want. We nearly won the quadruple. Matip was better. He was.
And Konate.
Back end the season, Konate was immense. You know what I mean? Like, we're not saying anything which is in kind of untrue in any sense, in terms of, since that injury, and I don't think most Liverpool fans want to say it, and I don't want to say it, but it's kind of true. Van Dijk's not been the same since that Pickford injury.
So I've said it, Dan. I've said it, and I said Van Dijk is one of the. Do you remember? I was telling Noor I disagree with him that they haven't got it in them. They haven't got the legs. Van Dijk was one of the players that I said won't ever be the same again. And people were like, oh, and I think, Omar, you're nodding away in disagreement, so you can come back in, go for it. But again, I'm yet to be proved wrong.
I think with Van Dijk, he is probably one of the last issues we have. I think.
Disagree.
If we're looking at the centre back situation, Matip and Gomez have been far worse than him. But the main problem is, the reason we are so exposed is because we don't have a midfield. 6 of those midfielders, I'd argue, need to go. The reason Van Dijk looks so good, the reason Gomez, Matip looks so good, the reason we had such a good defence was because we had a midfield that were able to press and stop the ball high up the pitch. Now we have a midfield that are like the doors in Takeshi Castle, where you can just literally fly through them. And it's hit and hope. It's like, oh, sometimes you stop them, sometimes you don't. Which is why someone like Van Dijk is being asked to defend so much more than he had to. And I'm not saying that he's not dropped a level. He doesn't look as imperious, as commanding as he did, without a doubt. I completely agree with that. But he's being asked to defend so much more than he has to. If he's protected, he's going to look a better defender. But if he's on the halfway line with a midfield that's constantly getting broken, he's going to make mistakes. It's only natural. No defender in the world will be able to stop 100% of the chances, without a doubt. So the midfield is where, and like, this is what I don't get. It's like, why did we, like, I've loved Gakpo since he's like the last few, like, couple weeks especially, but we've got an issue in the midfield. if you've got a certain amount of money to spend in January, spend it on the midfield where you need it. Don't try and cover for the midfield's problems by investing in better pressers up front or investing in new defenders. Fix the problem where the problem is. Don't overcomplicate it. And the problem is we have ghosts in midfield now. Like Fabinho, like I've been one of the people this season that's actually like tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm beyond that now. Like
I actually thought that first half was his best half of the season. Genuinely, guys. Was I watching the wrong game?
No, it was that. And to be fair, the Newcastle game, he was good as well. Considering that he got the yellow card really, really early in the Newcastle game, the way he managed it, I was like, oh, Fab's kind of back. Like, he's not scared to pass the ball anymore.
Absolutely. In the first half, he got on the ball far more. I saw him a bit of energy running backwards. But I'm sorry, he was part of the crumbling in the second half. Because they make it 3-2, Noor. Then what happens?
So before I get to the 3-2, like I've got like a little hot take. I'll be messaging in my.
Oh, go on then. We love a hot take.
Yeah. So my Liverpool group, I've been reluctant to say it, but I had to say it like last week against Newcastle. But Van Dijk, to me, this is what I've noticed, is that he doesn't want to run anymore. So what he does is he becomes very passive and lays back rather than being aggressive and closing that gap between the midfield and the defense. So what happens is he drops down and there's always a massive gap between the midfield and the defense because of him. Especially if you go back to the Tottenham game, you'll see how passive he is. He doesn't want to push on to that attacker that's dropped deep a little bit. He'll stay back, and then what exposed it was the Brentford game when he tried to push up, and then he tried to run back against who's that attacker? Mbeumo. Yeah, he tried to catch up, and Mbeumo does his hamstring. I think he doesn't want that part of his game anymore. I don't know if it's to do with injuries or whatever, but I don't think he wants to partake in running anymore. He wants to control space.
With that Mbeumo one, that was the midfield's fault again. It was one straight pass for
midfield. I'm going to butt in now because you was nodding away in disagreement with me and Dan. I'm nodding away in disagreement with you now. I absolutely take your point and agree with your point about the midfield. I think we all do. Anyone who suggests the midfield is not a problem or the main problem is deluded. Is deluded if you don't think the midfield is a problem. But I can't get on board with this because the midfield is poor. Our defenders can't run anymore. Our defenders can't sense danger anymore. Our defenders aren't urgent enough to get in the right places anymore. I don't want to be that that fan that has to rely on the midfield to protect our defense as long as our defenders look good. Because that's what you're saying then. You're essentially saying if we fix the midfielders, our defenders might be able to get away with it. I don't want them to get away with it. I want them to defend.
Real Madrid midfield.
Are you there?
Sorry. I cut out. If you stick that Real Madrid midfield and switch it with ours today, like that's probably like 5-0 to us. And Van Dijk's getting lauded. It's just how it is. The reason Van Dijk got lauded.
It's not. No, it's not. They defend completely different. Carvajal defends totally different from Trent. Militao and Rudiger defend totally different from Gomez and currently Van Dijk. It's not the same at all, my brother, in my opinion. Feel free to jump in, guys, if you agree, disagree.
In my opinion,
it's a conversation.
Also as well with this, like if we're being brutally honest, we were 2-0 up against Newcastle. They had 10 men. They nearly scored off like 4 or 5 corners.
Through focus, through not concentration in defense. There's no desire to get dirty and keep a clean sheet at all costs. I'm telling you, only Robertson has that.
Grizz, like about 3 years ago, them balls coming in the box, they're going straight away. Like Van Dijk's winning it, or Matip's winning it, or whoever. It's going. We would never concede a goal at all. Newcastle, with 10 men, nearly scored about 3 times on corners.
Can I just say, I actually, again, this is weird. This is so weird having this conversation because I actually thought Van Dijk was the least to blame. It seems like I'm picking on Van Dijk now. Van Dijk started off all those things that you're saying, Daniel. He cleared so many balls first time. I thought Van Dijk had his better game. If you know what I mean, it's wild because there's 3-2. We just died, Noor. There was no coming back. Heads dropped. I don't even remember the fourth goal. If you want to fucking talk about it, you must talk about it because I don't even remember it. Like what happened, and it's a blur from there.
The fourth goal was the deflection, wasn't it? So again, the passive defending.
Passiveness.
This is look, Liverpool under Klopp are a front-footed team defensively. No, forget attack for now. Defensively, we're in your face. We're blocking avenues. We're putting pressure on you to harass you into making decisions. But here's Liverpool at the edge of their box, allowing 1-2s to happen. We're inside their box, and then they're surprised when Benzema shoots.
Look at the simplest of what. No, do you know? I keep telling you, innit? Like I used to manage a 7-a-side team, right? And like 5 of them were Somali brothers, and I used to love playing with them because they used to have this phrase, "Relax the ball." Yeah. The English wasn't brilliant, right? Yeah. And so they used to say, "Brother, relax the ball, relax the ball." Yeah. Watching Benzema out there reminded me of the Somalian brothers. Shout out the Somalian brothers from Leighton Walthamstow every single time. Yeah. It reminded me of them guys balling on a little 5-7-a-side pitch, just playing little. Daniel, I know you play 6-a-side, 7-a-side. You was telling me, right?
Yeah.
It reminded me of just not the 40th or the 50th minute of a Champions League fucking tie at Anfield under the lights against your fiercest rivals. According to sort of, champions in very recent history, it felt like it was the ending of a drubbing already, and they're just keeping ball, playing a few passes, and suddenly they're in our box.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, Grizz. And you said that you used to manage them, yeah? I bet you the one thing that they hated was an overly aggressive team that stopped them from doing stuff like that, like
at root.
Yeah. Shoving you, like
fouling you, no problem.
Stay next to you.
But also as well, like I play 6-a-side. If we're like 14-7 down, that don't matter. We still give it. You still put your foot in. You still give a shit, basically. Like, and what was really sad is towards the end when they were scoring them goals, the players it was just like, oh, what a shame. It didn't seem like they give a shit, and that's concerning for me.
I'll tell you what was concerning, Ohms, and now we're gonna get into, because Ilyas, you must have come to the stream late. Where's this comment? This got me going, but I was too concentrating on my cake and tea. Where is that? Ilyas, where have you been, mate? Why are you not blaming Klopp? I went for Klopp in the first 10 minutes. So you've obviously just jumped in the stream. Hope you've liked the stream, my friend. Because, I've said that. Here we go. Why on earth did Klopp take off his quick players, Imran says, sends in a super chat. Mike follows it up, which says, Klopp is one-dimensional. Klopp refuses to adapt or change tactically. Transfers won't fix this. And then he mentions Chelsea in brackets. No manager would come to FSG. No solution.
Well, he probably took off his quick players because the fact that Madrid were 5-2 up, and they just realised we could just stand in front of in front of the box.
Can someone check? Because I don't. Can someone check? Can someone check, please? Because I'm not sure if he made those. Oh, he did. You're right. I think you are right. I think he did make it at 5-2, which was way too fucking late. Yeah. You have got Jota, Bobby, Elliott, Naby Keita. Matip, even for Gomez, should have been done straight away once it's that second goal, the third goal went in. Fuck Matip, Gomez off now. If he's going to be ruthless in the summer, he's got to show elements of it now. If he's going to be Jurgen Klopp rebuilding Liverpool too. He's learned his lessons from a season, and it's a disastrous season. I don't give a shit how anyone dresses it up. But if he's going to learn, and if he's actively going to do something about it, he's got to start now because we've got nothing to play for. Okay.
Can I ask all for you lads a question? Like for me, I don't know if it's just me, but I would think about, obviously, I think Matip might go. We need at least one more centre back. I'd think about making Gomez just a right back, like a deputy for Trent, because he's played better there for me. I'm more comfortable as a right back for Gomez than anywhere else.
Yes, I am. I'll tell you why. Because centre back is centre of the pitch, is where the goals tend to come from. If a centre back makes a mistake, you're straight through. If a fullback makes a mistake, you got either side of fullback and possibly your right-sided 8 to cover you as well. But that's such a defeatist way of looking at it. Why are we even talking like this? Like, because of the situation we find ourselves, where we can't do too much because we need to focus on the midfield. One centre back. Really, we need to find 2 centre backs, 3 centre midfielders, and that's it, mate. You need to do that. And I'm talking 5 first teamers. I'm not talking squad rotation and young players. I'm talking 3 midfielders, 2 centre backs. Gomez, Matip, you are legends of the club. You have enabled us to win Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, league of each. You've won 7 trophies in your tenure. We love you. We will not let you end your career here. We need to move you on. We need to show Fergie balls, Mourinho balls. We need to turf them. Sorry if that sounds harsh after they've been legendary for us.
I agree, Grizz, but how realistic is that?
No, it's not realistic
with the way FSG operate.
But that's why we're fucked.
That's why Daniel's coming out with like this scenario.
Also as well, I think Gomez got a new deal last
but that's fine.
Year, was it?
But that's fine. That's fine though. That can protect his value.
Yeah.
Because he was running up to a year left. He would have probably been gone for about 15, 20 million. Now he's probably worth about 25 to 30. The way he's fucking playing every week is going down.
But have we not been in this situation before where like a player the deal runs down, we give them a deal, and then we can't get rid of them? The likes of Chamberlain.
They don't play him. They don't play him. They don't play him. Make him 5th choice, and he will want to play. If Joe Gomez has got anything about him, he'll want to play, or we'll tell his agent he's not going to be playing. It's up to you. Find a move. Be ruthless, Dan. We were pussies with the Oxlade, the Nabbies, even the Henderson. Too much of a long deal.
Yeah, Holmes, that's true.
Holmes, do you have any recollection of what happened after that? Do you know? Because I know that I, who has no experience at that level of coaching or expertise or analysis, I'm essentially a fan that puts my laptop on and talks football with a bunch of guys that are like-minded. I has no expertise, could tell you our midfield was out of it. They were out on their feet. Fabinho, Henderson, Bajcetic could barely move. Yet Klopp couldn't see this. Holmes, are you really telling me this? He takes off the 2 runners that we had that looked like the only energetic players, Gakpo and Nunes.
Exactly. You've hit them nail on the head, Grizz. You could see it from the second half. Even as soon as they made it 2-2, literally as soon as they made it 2-2, their whole midfield just grabbed control of the game. And you're thinking, right, it's obvious. It was so obvious. I was screaming at the TV. The obvious thing to do is literally take 2, if not 3 of the midfielders off. Put on Milner, who's going to run. Put on, I don't know, K or Ox, whoever. Just freshen it up there. Don't take off
the young lads.
Our 2 freshest players.
The young lads out of it.
But the problem
is out of it. Yeah, sorry.
Why are we trying to play at 100 miles per hour for 90 minutes with a midfield like that and keeping them on? Why don't we do what we did against City and have 2 banks of 4? This is down to the management. This is down to, at the end of the day, it's down to Klopp not being flexible enough. And like we have said that about Klopp for the longest time, and I love Klopp, but you have to be flexible and read the game, read the situation. Be like, all right, we're getting the run around here. Modric is dictating the game. Camavinga is dictating the game. What do? Right, you get a couple new midfielders in, and then you sort of not sharp shop, but you basically narrow the gaps for them to play in. The more goals they scored, the further forward we tried going. There was no sense. There was literally no sense in the team. And now,
basically, what you're saying though, what also didn't make sense is that when you're talking about going 100 miles an hour, at the end of the game, the last 15 minutes, that's when we need to go 100 miles an hour. But they took all the quick players off, and they brought in likes of Firmino and Jota and Elliott, and like I love them all, but they're not the guys who are gonna snap a goal. They're not the guys who are gonna get in behind. That's not them.
Yeah. They're the guys that possibly Nah, I don't want to say it, and I don't know what to say because it's so obvious.
But Grizz. So like the Newcastle game, like kind of Bobby and Jota were perfect for that game because you're
100%.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a little question?
Just want to address Saeed, who's in the building, and he's trying to troll me. Shut your mouth. I don't want you. You're not my brother.
What he said?
I'm here for you if you need me, brother. And he sent 3 love hearts.
Oh God. Oh no.
I think Liverpool is probably the worst team now this season when we're chasing a goal.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah. That's true.
We freaking leave gaps and we lose our heads and we try to become hero balls. We become heroes as in we try and press super high and we lose our heads. Fabinho for the 5th goal tries to bring the ball down, loses it to Modric. And as you said, Grizz, Modric at 37, because he conserved energy during the game, was able to burst past Fabinho and Bajcetic and get that ball into Vinicius. And Vinicius obviously gave it to Benzema. And then Benzema sits Alisson down. But this is the problem. Gomez again, yeah? Alisson went for the right side, right? And watch this back. I want you guys to watch this back. Slow motion as well. Alisson is sat down, so he goes to his left, right? He blocks the left side because he's 40. Benzema might shoot that way. Then Benzema comes back on his left, right? And Alisson looks and says, "Where was Gomez? You was just there a minute ago. Where the fuck did you go?" And you see Gomez trotting back. There's 2 guys already on the line, and he's running back to the line. And he's running back towards the line, and you hear I don't understand what language he was speaking, Alisson, but he was like, like he's talking. Benzema hasn't even shot yet. Like, where are you, Gomez? You're supposed to be here to block this side.
That whole goal is Fabinho's fault, though.
Yeah,
the initial part is Fabinho, but I'm saying that part was just ridiculous.
Yeah, but you're scrambling. You're in that position. You're like, crap. We're in trouble here. 5-2s on the cards. You're like, you lose all sorts of composure. If Fabinho doesn't lose that ball and doesn't have to rely on an 18-year-old next to him to hold his hand and teach him how to pass the ball and scan and whatever, we don't get into that situation where we lose our composure. Because Gomez, at that point in the game, his head was on Mars. His head was gone. So like you can say like whatever, it was a mistake by Gomez. Yeah, I agree, but like he's only scrambling. You only get that desperate if there's because of the Fabinho mistake. Fabinho doesn't make that mistake. We're not in that position, and that's the harsh reality of it. We just lost composure everywhere, and
Fabinho in that situation was pathetic. Like I watched the Newcastle game and went, oh my God, I think Fabinho might be back. He's passing the ball. He's strong in the tackle. Oh, he seems like if I can see Fabinho again. Oh my God, this might be okay. That then 10 seconds told me no, it won't be the same again, because not only did he fluff up the tackle, he couldn't even get back. He couldn't even get close to getting back. He's gone.
Have we got? Shall we go back to the quotes? Let's try to get.
I'll try. This is Anfield again.
All right.
Give me a couple.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Look, it was shambles. It was embarrassing by then. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was like, what are we watching? This is so amateurish. I felt sorry for the fans that were there that had to witness that, and I'm intrigued to see what Klopp has said, because apparently he's not. Well, he's made a couple of statements that people are thinking, what does he mean by that or whatever? But we'll get into it. Guys, as do what Rashid says. Big up, Grizz. Go on.
Grizz. So, you reckon the tie's done?
Are you, like, I know it's your debut, but do you really want me to pour this hot cup of tea over your, like, I'm only going to ruin my laptop, but it's going to make me feel as though I've done something. Like, are you really asking me if this tie is done? We need
an act of God.
Only God can help us. You know,
we do.
I'm sure that's a line from a famous line from a film.
Okay, so if we think about football clubs throughout the history,
yes, I know your question, and will be the biggest. This will be the biggest ever in history of football. Ever on any level, even on my six-a-side Somalian team level, even on your six-a-side in Liverpool, where you play with many people, even Noor, wherever you play, on any level, this will be the biggest and the most amazing comeback ever. It's not happening. Go to sleep, Dan.
But doesn't it sound like such a Liverpool thing, though?
No, because we're not Liverpool right now.
If it was at Anfield, I might get.
Not even Anfield. No.
If it was like,
guys, this season we're doing this. We keep falling, like you guys have just spoken about Fabinho. You thought, I'm not falling for it. We see a bit. We see a bit of Matip. Virgil. Hendo.
Yeah, you think. Oh, that's him. And you go, oh, no, that's not him.
It was a matter of time before Zuberi walked in, and he says, ole, 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 6-5, we're going through, fam. Why is there a Man United man here? Time and place, watch the spaces. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't even know what to say, guys. Well, let's just go back to the website that you was on, or the account that you was on.
I'll go back to that.
Someone, or maybe someone, okay. Can someone put up the Jurgen Klopp quotes, please? There's over 1,000 of you in here. Surely someone can help us and put up the Jurgen Klopp quotes after the game, because obviously we went live straight away. There's coming up to 1,100 of you in here. We haven't even hit 600 likes. Smash a like. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm around 100 away from 25K, if not less. I'm sure not all of you have subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. I'm humbled and blown away the love I've been shown pretty much in the first year, coming up to about 13 months. We aim to bring you content from all the clubs. We don't just talk about our rubbish Liverpool right now, but our time will come. Our time will come. Don't go anywhere. Our time will come. But right now, I'd appreciate a like. I'd appreciate a subscribe.
Grizz, how many people watch it, did you say?
Over 1,000, 1,050 something.
And how many likes?
It's about 500 or something. You know, only half the people.
That's pathetic.
That's embarrassing. Well, I don't know what's more embarrassing: Liverpool's attempt at under the lights Champions League night, or the amount of ratio of our likes. But it is what it is. I guess I have to deal with it. I'm gonna be ruthless, unlike Klopp, and I'll just start blocking random people. Just for the sake of it, just for this, just to show my ruthless side.
Just like everyone free or something.
Yeah,
you're blocked.
You're blocked. Go on then, Holmes. Let's go through the. You've got access to them, so I want you to go through them, please.
So from what I've seen, this is a quote that sort of stands out, where he says, "There's a lot for me to take from this game, to be honest." And look, Klopp, you need please let this be the game you just realize and just go full, screw it. What do you want him to realize? I want him to realize that
if you have access, if tomorrow you meet Jurgen Klopp, right, and you sit over a cup of coffee or whatever, what do you want to say to him?
I'm
going to ask all of you, by the way. So get your answers ready.
I'm asking Klopp, what do you honestly think about this team, and where, realistically, how many changes is it going to take until things look positive again? And I'd want an honest answer. If I could get an honest answer, and I knew I was getting an honest answer, those are the questions I'd ask, because I need to know where he thinks the issue is, because to us it seems obvious, but you never know. And then secondly, I need to know how many players he thinks, because he's obviously going to defend his players to their heels. Fine. As a manager, you do that.
Not all the time, though. This is where I want to get to. I agree.
Not all the time. But someone who's notoriously loyal to his team, he's on the whole never going to throw his players under the bus in public.
But he's too loyal. He's too loyal. Like there needs to be a point when you need to be just a little bit more direct and strict, and actually say to yourself, okay, so I'm loyal to my players, but is this for the best of the club? And I think for a little while the problem has been that he's too loyal to the players, and that's not in the benefit of the club. And I think we're seeing that now.
But Dan, I want to ask you the same question. If you have the pleasure of Jurgen Klopp tomorrow, like straight away tomorrow, right? What do you want to ask him?
I'd ask him, can you be ruthless? And by that, what I mean is go through the squad and actually get rid of the weight, not just your Naby Keitas or your Oxlade-Chamberlains, but also as directors being saying, Milner, we love you. You need to go. Henderson, you've been one of the best captains of the last 30 years or whatever it may be, but you have to go. When it needs to be ruthless. It needs to be a proper overhaul in terms of not just from the playing staff point of view, but also trying to change the mindset to say, okay, this is kind of Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool 2.0, because it needs that. It needs that refresh. It's so obvious to see. There's so many good players in that squad. Alisson Becker, okay, so he made an awful mistake today. He's the best goalkeeper in the world. He is. He just is. Like, name me a goalkeeper who you'd rather have. I doubt you can. Right, yeah. Trent, I mean, for all its faults in terms of right back, I still wouldn't put Wan-Bissaka. No, thank you. Azpilicueta. Like there's no one I'm putting right back in front of Kyle Walker. No, I'd rather have Trent, because what he gives going forward. Robertson is getting into form. Maybe up there. He's got to be up there, one of the best left backs of the Premier League era, I reckon. Centre backs, yeah, we spoke about Gomez, Van Dijk, fine, whatever. The forward line, you're talking about when Diaz comes back. That's 6 players in 3 positions, and it's not just 6 players.
It's the only area of the field that doesn't need tampering or fixing or rejuvenating.
That and goalkeeper are the only two positions I'd say. But, however, the black sheep and the thing which is so clear is the midfield. It has, like, and we're not talking about bringing a player in. We're not talking about swapping someone out for someone else. We need 3 players. We need 3 really, really good players as well.
Noor, are you saying anything to Jurgen Klopp? Imagine I'm Jurgen Klopp. Look me in the eye and tell me what you're telling me.
I would have said to him, what is your plan? Like, I would have asked him, what's your plan with these players? What is your ultimate plan? If they prove that they're not up for your style anymore, What is your plan with him? Are you willing to get rid of him, or are you willing to look past it and hope for the best? Because for me, I'm a big backer of Klopp, massive backer.
I think we all are.
Yeah. However, no manager's perfect. No manager's perfect. Sometimes how great Pep is, he sometimes overthinks it in some big games, right? And he gets criticism for it. And Klopp, for his one, is probably sticking to what he knows best a little bit too often. I think he believes that to give the players a chance to rectify their mistakes or rectify before he throws them away. I think he gives them ample opportunities to prove themselves worthy of playing in his team. But
do you think he's too loyal? Like too loyal?
Yes. That's my opinion.
My issue is if I saw him in a situation where he's got the funds to blow up a team and restart or get rid of, how Pep does it, you're not working and get rid. Then I could say, yeah, you know what, you're being too loyal because you can replace these guys. But is his hand pushed as in, yeah, I want to replace these guys, but there's other glaring issues that I need to sort out. So I'd rather keep this guy around.
The example I'd give you, if you look at Alex Ferguson, right? I know United.
First of all, Holmes, do you think he's too loyal?
Oh, 100%. I think. I think if you look at all the best managers who have relentlessly won, Pep spoke about it to, I think it was Rio Ferdinand. He said, you have to keep changing and adapting your squad every 3-4 years. Each squad, each sort of legacy team, each sort of era has a fresh look to it. Yeah. We're in this second era now, and it's still kind of looking like apart from the front line, it's still kind of looking like our first era on the clock. And even if you don't have the funds, you can get. There's still room to maneuver in this. I believe there's still room to maneuver in this market. If you just look at teams like Brighton, Fulham, Brentford, whoever are playing so well, if you get rid of a couple big transfers, which you can still get. I promise you can still get 35-40 million for someone like Fabinho. There'll be someone like Atletico Madrid who'll pay that. You can get rid of Henderson. You can get rid of Gomez. You can get 20-odd million for him. If you raise funds from that and replace them with 3, 4, 5 hungry people who might not be big flash names, but might fit the system, might suit the system from early, then you start to get into a new team that has that hunger, desire, and sort of ability to perform again. Because we grabbed Andy Robertson, Gini Wijnaldum from the trenches. That was our whole business model. Even in a time where players were being bought for 70, 80 million, we were able to win everything through that business model. I'm not saying you can do it solely like that now. I want Jude Bellingham as much as anyone, and I still think we should go absolutely after him. But you can still, in certain areas of the pitch, support that one big signing with 2 or 3 for 20, 30
supplement,
million.
And we will. We have to. We've got no choice. But the disappointing thing, guys, and the really sad thing about it is we're being forced into doing it. To get the difference, as opposed to a natural evolution that we would have liked to have seen. We all would have liked to have seen this take place naturally, like you suggested at Man City. Now they're going through a transition. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But the fact that they're still at the level that they are is big for them. So they're going through their transition and they still may end up winning the league. Right? That's mad. Whereas we're going through our transition season and we've fallen off a cliff. We've fallen off a cliff, lads. And if anyone tells you otherwise and still sees positives, I want to know what that guy does for a living, and I want to be with him 24 hours a day, so he doesn't ever let me get down. I want him to be my life motivator. I want him to be my go-to guy or girl.
Yeah. I hear that. But like we said earlier, this is Klopp not seeing what we're seeing, right? And I think he sees it because some of these quotes that's coming through now, yeah,
Go on.
is go to Madrid and play a football game. If we have to score goals there, each counter attack will be an opportunity for them, and we have to learn from tonight. So he sees that Liverpool, especially like he talked about the passiveness as well, as someone put it up earlier, but I missed it. These players are being passive right now. I don't know what it is are they scared to tackle or commit? Well, they are being super passive, and he's picked up on it. And he said that they're being passive. And he's saying that when we push up too high as well, we allow counters to just go right through us. He sees the problem. However, the question will be like, I think it'll be answered in the summer. Is he too loyal? I think we'll find out this summer. If
I think we've already found out. I think we've already found out. Like, we're passive because we gave our all last season. We played every single game last season. Like, the dump we've had since then, you have to recognize it and be like, all right, things do need a refresh. You do need that sort of new signing boost. You need that to... Luis Diaz gave us the biggest boost last January. Literally, by just signing for us. Because if people remember, around then, we were losing Salah and Mane to AFCON. We'd drawn a few games with about 12, 13 points of City. We got one guy in, and all of a sudden, the energy's back. This is... You can't react. Klopp is now reacting. He should have been proactive.
The whole club,
exactly.
Holmes, is reacting.
And that's not a winning mentality. That's not a winning mentality. We can win, but we're gonna win when we need to feel like we need to win. I go back to people like Pep and Ferguson because these guys have been so successful, have won league after league after league because they were always proactive, and they always, as soon as they saw the tiniest thing, like the tiniest chink in the armor, they'd get rid of it, no matter who it was.
Can I ask you something about that, Holmes, though? How'd you get that? How'd you get it as a coach and as a club? Surely it's through going through times like this. But how do we foresee situations like this? Because Jurgen Klopp spent 7 years at Mainz and then left. Spent 7 years at Dortmund and then left. He's now spent 7 years at Liverpool. It's a total different, it's alien to him to stay at that club again and rebuild it again. So what I'm trying to angle and segue into is asking you guys, is he the man for it?
Or is learning on the job?
There isn't really a man.
Or is he learning on the job? No.
He needs support around him. Sorry, no.
Yes. Go on. So go on. Yeah, whoever. It's an open question.
I wanted to ask Holmes was.
Are you asking a question with? Are you answering a question with a question?
Yeah, because it ties.
That's how fucked we are. That's how fucked we are. We're fucked.
It ties together. For example, look, when we were going through our best times, yeah, we still had a front three with no backup. God forbid injuries happened at that time to our players. Well, we wouldn't have had the exact success that we had. So I think loyalty should be questioned. However, you see that he was just operating with no backup. The front three had no backups. Who was the backups for Mane, Salah, and Firmino at that time?
Yeah, but they would but at that point they were like what, 25, 26, 27.
True.
Young.
No.
Someone just took him out, and his ankle is finished.
But yeah, but we had But you look at that. But then you could apply that to any team. If you apply that to the Champions League winning team at United, if you take out Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, who do they have? If you take out Haaland, Foden, Mahrez, who do they have? You can apply that. Every successful team is successful because they're a fit team. Every winning team, every treble winning team, every dominant team is successful because they do have that little bit of luck where they have their squad fit.
But what I'm trying to point at is, does he have? Is this loyalty coming from a place of force? Like, I have no choice but to be loyal at this moment in time because I can't rejuvenate this team because I'm not getting the adequate funding. And we go back to this January. So let's say January is like, hey, we definitely need a midfielder, but we brought in my man Melo, and we've got a few midfielders coming back from injury right now. Would it make sense to overpay in January? Let's just get this guy who's got.
Why are we talking about January though? Why wasn't it dealt with last summer when realistically the conversations as Liverpool fans, not just this season but last season, was our midfield. And we were like, midfield. Let's fix it now. We didn't fix it in summer.
As well. Like, we tried to get Tchouaméni. It didn't happen. Like, normally what would happen is Liverpool will go for a player, and if you can't get him, you keep going till you get him. And that's what everyone said about Van Dijk and Alisson. No, we wait till he comes available. Maybe with Bellingham the same thing. Tchouaméni went to Madrid, and then it was like, did we? Okay, what now? And there was nothing. Like that can't have been the only name on that list. It's impossible.
I think that the other name was Bellingham, but the club alluded to it. As soon as the transfer window closed, he's like, listen, I personally would love to take more risks, but we operate in a way that it doesn't happen. But we need
free midfielders.
He took a risk by keeping the same midfield that played 64 games and that we knew was injury prone and was Asian. I mean, that was the risk.
Yeah, he took that risk and he flopped in it. But I'm saying if he had the choice to refresh fully with the players that he really wants, would he have turned it down? I don't think he's a manager who will turn it down and say, nah, I'm all right. I've got oxen.
But it's not a case of waiting for Bellingham, because for me, in my point of view, Bellingham's one of three. You need two more. That doesn't sort anything.
This is the part that I don't get, Daniel. When we have fan discussions, and I'm not talking about sort of mad discussions that we just argue and swear and fight each other, but when we have a discussion like this, and we probably have differing opinions. I loved it today, by the way, guys. We all had different opinions, and I've disagreed with a couple of you guys. And I love when we have a show, even though we've lost, we still disagree. It's mad how that can happen. Normally, you can just agree that everyone was shit and everything was shit, but we still managed to have angles and agendas. It's brilliant. But I don't understand this debate. I was listening to you guys, and I don't understand it. I'm sorry. So, if we're saying that we need more than just Jude Bellingham, and I think we all know to a man, woman, cat, dog, fridge, microwave, that we need more than Jude Bellingham. We need a minimum, let's say the minimum of 2 first-team midfielders, most likely 3.
Yeah.
Why did we not get one of the other ones that we needed, apart from Jude, in the summer to make life simpler, easier? Because it suggests now reliable reports, reliable journalists, reliable sources indicate that Matheus Nunes will probably be a Liverpool player as things stand. We have a deal in place for him. If we so choose to exercise that deal or whatever, verbal agreement, gentleman's agreement, whatever. But why did we not do that last summer? And all we heard from Jurgen Klopp was, Jude wasn't available. He's openly said it. We're going to get Jude. There was a couple of people saying, you guys still think you're getting Jude. Come back to me in the first week of June. And if Jude hasn't signed, then say, yeah, Grizz, you're mudded or whatever the term is in 6 months' time or whatever.
We'll get Jude.
Yeah.
We'll get Jude.
Yeah. So whatever happens, when Jude is signed, then come back and like the stream and subscribe. And if he hasn't, unsubscribe and say fuck off, Chris. But you get my point, guys. If Jude was the one that we wanted, surely he wasn't only going to get Jude and rely only on Jude, because that suggests, right, that he's totally deluded then.
I agree. I'm in complete agreement with you. And this, if you trail it back, comes all the way back to the original question of this topic, this debate, which was, is Klopp too loyal? And Klopp took that risk because he was like, I'm convinced Klopp had in his mind, and I can't read Klopp's mind, but he's probably seen that squad and seen what the likes of Keita and Thiago did to the back of the season, where they stayed injury-free. Fabinho, we saw last couple of games of last season, we saw the cracks in his game, but we already knew Henderson's legs were going. But he thought, if these boys can get to this level, surely a couple months in with a World Cup break, their levels aren't going to drop so much that I have to make this decision now. That is down to Klopp being, even if he's just slightly a little bit too loyal. And that at this level, those margins, when you look at it and you take sort of emotion into it, and Klopp 100% takes emotion into it because he recognizes what this team has done for him, he's probably gone, we can maybe take this risk and go 6 months. Because how much was Caicedo in summer? How much was Enzo in summer? How much was Nunez in summer? Like, every single... I'm thinking, what would Pep do? What would Sir Alex Ferguson do? I guarantee you one of, if not both, of Fabinho and probably one of Fabinho and Henderson would have gone. And no harsh feelings whatsoever. Great servants for the club.
It doesn't need to be like that. We don't need to shit on players before saying your Liverpool careers are, thank you very much. We don't need to badmouth them. Now, what we're going to find is sections of the fan base are going to hound them out.
Yeah.
Sections of the fan base are going to chat shit about them and on their name when they should be lauded and said, wow, the 5-6 years you've given us, amazing. Thank you so much.
It's going to make it sour when it doesn't need to be sour.
Yeah, look at Wijnaldum. Look how Wijnaldum, like, Liverpool fans still think good of Wijnaldum because we got rid of him at the right time.
The best example is Sadio Mane. The best example.
What I was going to say.
Yeah. But do you guys, like, do you lads want to, like, I don't want to hate Fabinho.
No.
I don't like not liking Fabinho. Fabinho is the best DM I've ever seen at Liverpool in my lifetime, personally. I don't want to go to stage where I'm just getting really annoyed at him. I don't think anyone wants that. And that's not, like, talk about being loyal. Like, in a way, if you talk about being loyal, you're taking care of the player. And if you want to take care of his legacy, then maybe he needs to go.
The data is there. Like, the whole thing with the Henderson's contract situation, do you remember? Where was it the analyst was saying that...
Guys, just off the record, it's why the likes of Julian Ward and Michael Edwards have left their roles. They're not being listened to, guys. And Jordan Henderson and James Milner's contracts were the tip or the final, what's the word? The straw that broke the camel's back. No, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Straw that broke the camel's back, yeah.
Because Henderson, as magnificent as captain and leader has been for us, didn't deserve was it a 4-year deal?
I think 3 with an extension, with a year option. And the data was there, wasn't it? The data said...
They got rid of Ginny because the data said so, and the data people have been proved right. Whether Ginny's be unlucky at Roma and PSG, whatever, the people that made those decisions using the data have been proved right. Even Sadio Mane has been shit. Let's call a spade a spade. The data people have been proved right so far, even if it's breaking down with injuries. The data people have been right with regards to Henderson as well. Because he's breaking down and playing shit and running less and pressing less.
Who pushed for Henderson? It was Klopp, wasn't it?
Only Klopp.
Loyalty.
Yeah.
Only Klopp. Yeah. Klopp is our king.
Why would you change a winning formula when our transfer business never missed, right? Liverpool was always a team that's transfer business were always perfect. Like, it was Liverpool, the envy of the transfer market. We wouldn't spend much. Net spend would be perfect, but we'd always sort of nail our transfers. If you look at sort of Real Madrid, why they're able to sustain over 10 years is because they have one sort of ethos. They take emotion out of the whole situation. Last night, like at 2-0, if this game went the wrong, like there's talk of Ancelotti pretty much gone already from the club. He won.
I've got no doubts. I've got no doubts. If this scoreline was reverse, like if we had just smashed them 5-2, Ancelotti's job would be on the line tonight at Real Madrid.
There's a whole thing like.
But it's interesting that Ohm says that though as well, because like the ruthlessness of Madrid. It's about 10 years ago that thereabouts Madrid sold the likes of Iron Robben, Schneider, Van der Vaart, and like you talk about loyalty. That's kind of you sell them players and then you bring in your Ronaldo, you bring in your Benzema. Like that's ruthlessness. That's proper being ruthless. That's not thinking about who the player is, what they've given to your club. How much you love them. That's just no. This is business. You need to go because they need to come in. I don't think we do that.
Yeah, it's at Real Madrid. Like I think more than any, which is why they're the most successful, most historic club in the world. It's because the badge, the club, comes before absolutely anything. Right? It's all about the club. Everyone, once you're there, your whole dedication is to Real Madrid. Club, their football, whatever they call it, yeah. And if anyone steps out of line, gone. Cristiano Ronaldo won them a Champions League, out, and whether that was him or whatever, but that was the right time for him to leave. It's a door that just revolves and revolves and revolves and revolves. Managers, players, higher ups, like there's one ideology, and all that matters is Real Madrid Football Club. And as long as Real Madrid Football Club are successful, nothing else matters. Carlo Ancelotti, if he has one bad season, gone. Mourinho, one bad season, gone. Zidane, he knew when to go because he knows what the ethos is at the club. You need to know that sometimes you just have your periods. Go out on a high. And I'm not saying, before anyone thinks, I'm not saying that about Klopp, but like the mentality at Liverpool needs to be that.
But this is my point, what I made earlier. We haven't got experience under these owners of going again and again and again. They were novices when they came into this club. Absolute novices in football terms. And they've learned on the job. Their first few years was awful. And then they struck on a golden formula, which was Ian Graham, Fallows, Hunter, Klopp, Michael Edwards. And boom. For 5 years, we were amazing. And now 5, 6, whatever the period has been. And now they've all gone. The ones that I've mentioned. Well, Fallows, Hunters, but you know what I mean. Edwards is gone. Ward's gone. Ian Graham's gone. Klopp's assistant is different. The owners have accepted and acknowledged they need investment. However you want to take that, we're not going to go into that tonight. Investment. They've realized that their working model needs adjusting, for a better word. We have to see, and it's pure worrying as well as maybe exciting and maybe a bit very nervous as well. See what their plans are for the future now.
The problem is we had the potential if we just listened, if we just stuck to listening to the data, stuck listening to analysis. Julian Ward wouldn't be gone. Who else went? Was it Graham? They would still be the club because they were the ones that were running it from the back. They were running the machine. They were the engine room of the whole club. They were the ones that were getting it right. So we're going to wrap it. The fact that we've changed from that, and it's so obvious now. That is, sorry.
No, I'm just going to say, Fran says, quality chat, lads. Late now, though, going to bed. Cheers. Thank you very much for the support. We're going to wrap it up in the next few minutes as well. Noor, I know you've been dying to jump in there. Go for it.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to flip it a little bit just to see it from Klopp's point of view. Klopp's point of view is 7 years at Mainz, 7 years at Dortmund, with his best players always being poached and taken away from him and not being able to build up upon them, right? So psychologically, does he think now, hey, this is the first time where I get to keep my players? And then puts his foot down and says, no, these guys are a part of the guys that brought me here or brought us all here. And so I'm going to be a little bit loyal to it because I never had that before. They were all being taken away from me. So he's probably thought, yeah, let me just rely on these guys a little bit more. And there's a learning curve, as you said, Grizz. He's never been in a situation like this. So I think personally he's learned a lot, especially this season. He's learned a lot in regards to when a player starts to show that downturn, it's best to try and replace him. But then again, do we have the structure to do what you guys are asking that Real Madrid do? Real Madrid are probably like, their model is kind of like Chelsea's model. All right, this manager's not working, get rid. This player's not working, get rid and refresh like that. I've never seen Liverpool do that in my whole, since 1990, supporting Liverpool. I've never seen them just go, you bunch of players are not working, 4 or 5 gone, 4 or 5 in. I've never seen that. So
the only time we did do that, and it's obviously way before your time, was Souness. When Souness came in, he tried to change everything, and it was sort of said at the time he tried to change too much. Dalglish tried it, wasn't great, wasn't brilliant. We know the signings that he ended up making in his second spell. Jurgen Klopp done it, but with the aid of the people that we've discussed, the backup, the support team, the data team, the footballing director, everything was in place. It's right now, it's not in place. And this is where the worry is. We need to put that in place before we enter the transfer market and even have dreams of next season.
Yeah.
We had like, no, you touch on like Chelsea sort of being like Real Madrid. The difference is Real Madrid have one, like it's a model where it's more consistent in terms of they know the sort of players that they want. It's just not dip into the market for dipping into the market's sake. Like, we all know Real Madrid have money, but they if you look at all of their successful eras, they've always won in the same way. They've always been a consistent, just problem-solving football team. And the problem is that's because they've had the sort of history and sort of heritage behind them to carry that. And right now, like if you look at Liverpool in the 80s, 70s and 80s, it's the whole like boot room thing, right? We had about 3 or 4 different managers in that period who were extremely successful. But the squads, the star players, they always change and change and change. Whereas, yeah, keep a few to play 10, 15 years, but you can't be having 7, 8 guys coming up to 7, 8 years just being run down constantly.
Well, when you speak about that as well, if you speak about Real Madrid, kind of Real Madrid's Steven Gerrard was Raul. Like, he was the kind of Steven Gerrard. They brought Ronaldo in. They played together for a year. Then they got rid of Raul and sold him to Schalke and gave Ronaldo the number 7 shirt. Like, that's ruthless. That's saying that's for the betterment of the team long term. Getting rid of your superstar because we know in the next 5 years the chance I will start winning Champions League with this guy. That's proper ruthless, and that's we're not like that. I don't think Jurgen Klopp ever will be, ever.
It's the whole club comes first sort of mentality. That is all towards everyone in the club has to put their energies towards the club, and if nobody's pulling their weight, you go.
We've got a super chat from What's Good. Yo, What's Good says, I thought the reason for the Ward and Edwards leaving. I thought that was the reason, for Ward and Edwards leaving. We need structure and boundaries back above all for me. Balancing act for Klopp needs ASAP. AJ and Dad says, I like coming here for the tears, but I do smash a like. That's always appreciated, my friend. He's obviously pointing to his Everton badge. So fair enough. Sleeping Dragon, who's been with us most of the night, says, thank you, Grizz, the lads and the panel, and last but not least, all the chat. I guess maybe they're hinting like, call it a night tonight. The chat seemed to be all.
How many likes are there now?
Yeah, we're up to nearly 800. I think we might be able to get 800 before we end the stream. 730. So 70 away. There's still 950 of you in here.
Come on.
If we get another 50 likes or so, just for our tiers even.
Yeah.
If anyone deserves consolation, likes, it's us, right? We're going through hell here. Yeah, I've got Daniel, Omar, and Noor who have sat with me for the best part of 2 hours talking about our mudded club and how we've been destroyed at home. Wow. 15 minutes in. We were dreaming, lads. We were dreaming and it ended up a nightmare.
Massive.
Is anyone going to say it? Is anyone going to say the miracle of the Bernabeu?
Well, Daniel tried it and I shut him down. If you try saying, I'll just block you.
You did. You shut me down big time. But like I can dream. I mean, like,
nah, you lot ain't dreaming.
If you
look and sleep tonight, you lot are not Liverpool fans.
Yeah. No,
if I'm telling you now, if you lot message me tomorrow and said, "Oh, what a lovely sleep," I'm telling you now, I'm gonna doubt your loyalty as Liverpool fans because I ain't sleeping tonight.
I'm jumping straight on FIFA and taking my anger out on League One clubs with Portsmouth. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Rotherham.
You guys are saying,
you lot are getting smoke.
Listen, you guys are talking about miracles, right? Klopp shut it down. He was like, I don't think at this moment that's going to happen. However, Virgil van Dijk has said, he talked it up and said,
go on, say it, but I can't give a shit what you said. Say it for the sake of it.
Yeah, he said that football's all about miracles and we're going to try and produce one at the Bernabeu.
Get out of here.
Did he also say that Joe Gomez is the best defender in the world?
I just touched on 2 performances, right? So remember, Chelsea were 3-1 down in the first leg. They went 3-0 up at the Bernabeu, which is what we need.
Yeah.
But they still lost. Now, does anyone remember when Ronaldo scored that bicycle kick for Real Madrid at Juventus?
Juventus, yeah.
They won 3-0. Yeah. Juventus brought it back to 3-0.
3-3,
so Juventus were 3-0 up at the Bernabeu.
And with the Buffon red card.
Scored a last-minute penalty. So
Buffon got sent off, didn't he?
I'm gonna end the stream. Yeah. Daz has said, "Oh my FG, please end the stream. Laugh my ass off because we're actually believing that we're gonna come back. Like you guys are actually starting to believe that we're gonna."
No. I don't believe we're gonna come back, but
oh wow, we've had a generous super chat into the channel. Wow. Zach, love and respect. He says for the support of the channel. Chin up, Grizz. I must admit, Noor and Omar did try to get our chin ups and start believing. Daniel started off it. I finished all them off. I guess it's not over. So appreciate that. Even though you're a Man City fan, looking at your picture, Pep Guardiola tomorrow. No Kevin De Bruyne. No Laporte. There was someone else who's not available tomorrow. That will be quite an interesting tie tomorrow. So I don't want to wish you good luck, but really appreciate and support love the support. Thank you very much for that huge super chat. Guys, I'm about to end the stream, so I don't know. Do you want to believe? Do we go again?
So, like, obviously you got to go again. You got to believe all that type of stuff. But, like, if we're being, like, brutally honest with it, like, kind of in the long term, it probably did was really well if we dropped out the Champions League and then just concentrating on top 4. Because if we get that, that's so big for next year. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's not the way any Liverpool fan wants to think, but long term wise, that might be the best thing to happen.
It's one game a week.
Long term, is having a season out of Europe actually the best thing? Because look what a season like. If
you're starting a whole new topic here, maybe we should carry on. Maybe we should do a show later on in the week about this one, Mums. That's quite a good topic, actually.
because Chelsea, do you remember the season Mourinho got sacked? They finished
Mm.
like 10th, and the next season under Conte, I know he's a new manager, but they sort of reset and won the league. Like sometimes everything just has to explode.
Imagine being in the Conference League.
No, what I'm saying is not even in the Conference League. Like literally,
like
finishing,
done completely.
Yeah, but how do you do that? How do you maneuver yourself for the rest of the season to make sure you don't finish in there?
No, obviously go for.
No, I'm getting it. No,
Yeah.
I know what you mean, but I'm
Yeah.
thinking I'm laughing at the state of us that we're talking about this, that we're entertaining this, that we're actually contemplating our beloved Liverpool, who were this time last year, it was quad hype. My motto of the shows, Daniel, right, were dream until you can't dream no more.
Yeah. Right.
Fast forward 12 months, we're saying maybe if we finish 8th.
I don't fancy playing Jose Mourinho's Roma in the Conference League. You know what I mean? Like I'm not into that. So I genuinely reckon we can get top 4, and if we get top 4, like it's an awful season. However, we're kind of next season in the same place, if that makes sense, that we were this season. Like there's no loss.
Guys, must end it there. Shout out to all the people that supported the channel in terms of super chats. That's absolutely amazing of you guys, especially Zach with a very, very generous one. Shout out to all the people that joined us tonight. We had 1,000 people non-stop, concurrent pretty much for 2 hours, which is magnificent. Shout out the people that liked the stream. Bunch of tossers, the ones that didn't like it, that just came in to cuss us and abuse us. But you're still welcome, but you're a bunch of tossers. We'll be back tomorrow with Eurostars. Of course, I will be getting trolled and abused on that. I'm hoping and praying Man City get beat so we can share the chat. Otherwise, it's going to be fully focused on Liverpool. I'm going to dread that. Thursday, what did we say in the schedule, Holmes? Can you remember top of your head? Thursday
Brown Monday.
Thursday's going to be epic first episode of Brown Monday.
Yeah.
That was, of course, if people are still thinking Brown Monday and want a translation, that means brown fellas. So it's a play on the RedFellas. And it's obviously catered for the subcontinent. It's at peak time in the likes of India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, whatnot. Amazing set of lads. That first episode went down a treat. So check out episode 2 Thursday. Friday, we'll have a Premier League Khanage where we look forward to all the action over the weekend. Palace, I'm going, lads. I'm actually going. I'm going to go. I'm going South London. I'm going to be in South London. Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Istanbul, they call it, don't they?
No, I'm going. Yeah, Istanbul.
I think we beat them every time since then. Yeah.
But we're going. I'm going to go again because I love the club and it needs my support. Because it's right now, it must feel like rock bottom. But you know what they say, what goes up must come down. It's the reverse. Things can only get better. And let's hope they start at Crystal Palace this weekend. 7:45 kickoff, bit of an awkward time. But anyway, people, I'm so close to 25K. It'd be amazing if I reach that by the morning. Like, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you, Daniel, for making your debut. I think we made a fair fist of it. We haven't felt worse. We actually feel okay now. I don't know how you feel.
A little bit like remember Jonathan Woodgate when he made his debut for Real Madrid and he scored an own goal and got sent off. Yeah.
What a brilliant example. Oh yes.
I've gone through the 7 stages of grief, to be honest. In the last couple hours, like I've gone through denial, anger, depression. I've tried to reason with myself, acceptance, and now I'm just like, yeah.
I honestly, I just need like a big hug.
Send some love hearts in the chat for Daniel, who made a debut. Send him some love hearts, people.
Yeah.
Noor, as usual, top debut, of course. Thank you very much, Dan. Noor, usually the calm, calculated one, the one that likes to sort of break things down. Even you was a bit. ruffled today. Your feathers were ruffled today.
Yeah, not gonna lie, but it kind of helped this this therapy session, and it's kind of got me like thinking for the future. How does Klopp try and get us out of this rut?
Well, that may be a topic, and that may be a show in itself.
Yeah.
How do we get out of this rut? What do we need to do? We will try to give our amateur answers. But guys, thank you very much. This has been Post-Match Carnage. Real Madrid smashing Liverpool at Anfield. The game's the game. Football's a humbler. Peace out. Take care.